Now, the idea of all together now, black, white, brown, it's a wonderful message, isn't it? Because it's one of the early ways to address discrimination, categories for people, rank order system that some people are more privileged than others. And so we have been in our society through a wonderful cleansing experience. And the upside of this has been that we've crashed in walls that divided us. And for that reason, we have a lot to be grateful. As Ken Wilber says, the many gifts of green have been this, have been to address these issues of the left behind in a way that no one should be. And so in terms of legislation, in terms of civil rights passage and human rights emphasis, and some of the deconstruction attempts to say that the white Eurocentric European male experience is not the only experience on the planet, after all. So sacrifice now to obtain when? Now. Not future, now. Not lay by in store for the rainy day, now. Consume what we have been given and add nothing to it. Because we found the ultimate truth about things, and therefore it's our job to redistribute what we already have. Don't build any more, because that's bad. So the theme is redistribution of resources, not the creation of new ones. And certain new ideas not to be allowed because they come from elites. And we know in Australia about tall poppies. And so we have education systems at high school level that have banned honor societies, because it separates students into levels. Red is beautiful, white is beautiful, black is beautiful, yellow is beautiful, people is beautiful. But each of the meme codes, when it designs its own, tends to see it as a final state. Green without a good orange subsystem dies on the vine, as it is, because it promises more than it can deliver. It's a characteristic each of the meme codes can see the world and its problems, but it cannot solve them. It takes the next one to solve them. Isn't that Einstein's quotation once again?
But at this point in time, what so many of us benefit from, which are the freedoms of postmodernism, the freedoms of the green meme and the communal and egalitarian worldview, that seems to have given rise also to a kind of self-satisfaction. Here we are, very comfortable. We live very comfortably. We have, for most of us, we have everything that we could need. We have the highest standard of living in the world. And that self-satisfaction is itself the problem, because of where we're at, because of actually the real crisis that the world is in. So you could also see that self-satisfaction as as narcissism. That the green meme, which has given every human being their place in the sun, has also led to a kind of affirmation of the human being. And we can't stop with the kind of narcissism that has basically led to. So that's the downside of that individualism, is the narcissism. So where we're at now, as a global culture now, basically we're all interconnected, and we can see that the complexity and the tremendous conflict and environmental degradation. There's so many problems that the human race is confronted with that it's clear that we need a next order, a higher order of thinking and understanding, and spiral dynamics proposes that it's the theory itself which can be a very helpful tool in actually creating the next move, the next leap, as they say, to a higher level of thinking and perceiving.
And now the great leap into second tier. I'm convinced, after being where I've been over the last few years, I'm convinced it's now possible, it's seriously now possible, to provide the kinds of answers so many people are now searching for, and do so in a practical, caring, reality-based, on-the-ground manner. For that to occur, then, we have to combine the thinking modalities in these two memes. What occurs in the first 6 systems are steady states. What occurs in the second-tier systems in yellow is flow. Flow meaning one is not taught one single spiritual message and outcome. One is taught transformational spirituality, realizing that each plateau is reached is a prelude to the next and to the next in this never-ending quest of ours. So yellow integrates and flows. Express self. It's a warm color system, but never at the expense of others or the earth, so that all life, not just my life, may continue in the most natural, fitting ways. Now, one expresses self in this area, not like red expression of self, not like orange expression of self, but a different in yellow expression of individuality. So now the holistic mesh, the 8th code, 2nd tier. Sacrifice interests of self, see that in turquoise? And others as necessary. Why? So as to reach balance and harmony among humans, the planet, and generations to come. Why? For the survival of life itself. Not for a cause, not for an ism, not for a belief, but for life itself. So we have in yellow life flow, and we have in turquoise life preservation. And the two fit together. And the key in 2nd tier is the meshwork of the individual and the collective, where ends the war between them, because it facilitates the movement between them on the part of individual and groupings. So rather than a static model of who influences whom to do what, this kind of yellow turquoise entity is able to form task force teams where people quickly join in to assume roles necessary, and then when the task is over, they disband. So you become part not of a single community with assigned roles, but part of a flexible flow based upon tasks to be performed. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? So I wish for you an integral commons and a holistic meshworks. You say, fine, give us the rule book and the guidebook for these kind of communities. I say, go write it yourself.